Hey guys, thank you so much for clicking on this video. The fact that you guys are willing to sacrifice a few minutes out of your day to watch my content really does mean the world to me. And if you guys are wondering why I'm standing here in an attic and not, in a more visually appealing place, then click on the video that's just popped up above, and that's pretty much where I'm going to explain why I'm here, where I am in my life, and where this channel is heading. So guys, if you're curious at all, click on that link up above. But guys, today we're going to be talking about the new WWE/Netflix release, The Main Event. Okay, I've got a lot to say about this movie, and I watched the movie half an hour ago, and I've just been trying to process my thoughts and the way I've been thinking about all of this, because as a wrestling fan, I have got some serious mixed emotions about this film. So what I'm going to do for this review is first I'm going to try analyze it as a movie critic, and then after that I'm going to address it as a wrestling fan. And so hopefully that will be able to help you see this movie from both sides of the coin. So to start off, let's actually just break this film down. This film follows Leo. Leo's a young school kid. He's 11 years old and he is incredibly passionate about WWE. In fact, it's his favorite thing in the world. Kofi Kingston is his role model. So, you know what, I can relate to him on that level. It was really exciting to see someone really passionate about WWE. I can always relate to a character when that happens. But basically Leo, classic young schoolboy, he gets bullied constantly. And in fact, while he's busy being chased by the school bullies, he finds this magical mask that's able to make him faster, stronger, tougher, more charismatic, more confident. And basically he becomes a professional wrestler. He beats up the school bullies for a little bit, he saves a local diner from being robbed, and then he goes and decides, cool, let me try out to be a WWE NXT Superstar. And so the movie is about Leo becoming Kid Chaos with this magical mask, and it's about him becoming the next NXT wrestler, which is honestly a very cool idea for a movie, and I got a little bit excited for it. Okay, let's just talk about performances. Okay, so the main character, Leo, kid actor, does a serviceable job. I will say the only thing that ever annoyed me about his performance is whenever he puts the mask on, he's got this deep voice all of a sudden, and he's really cool. But honestly, the deep voice is so annoying and cringy, and no wrestler would sound like that ever. So it got really annoying actually listening to him talk whenever he's got the mask on. The other performances were great. I think all the actors in this movie actually gave a good performance, which is awesome. I will just have to say that the main villain of the film was incredibly underwhelming. This is the full extent of his talking. He's one of those villains, so you're not going to get depth from him at all, and it really left me sitting there going, why should I get invested in this story, because he is not a captivating villain in any sense of the word. A really big theme going through this movie, which I thoroughly enjoyed, is the broken family. And at the core of this movie, it's about Leo, this little boy whose mom has left his father, and he's trying to process all of that emotion, and even his father is trying to deal with it in his own way. And it's ultimately about a boy and a father trying to reconnect and mend this broken family. And I thoroughly enjoyed that aspect of the film. In fact, that was probably my favorite aspect of this entire film altogether. So from a movie critic point of view, I think this movie did its job. Definitely aimed for a younger audience, and yeah, I've got no problem with that. I knew going into this movie that I was probably not going to enjoy it as much as I would have if this movie came out when I was 11 or 12. But I think this movie did what it needed to do for the audience it was marketed towards. Now I'm going to talk about this movie from a wrestling fan. As a wrestling fan, I did not enjoy this movie in the slightest. In the slightest, I did not enjoy this movie. I think after watching this and The Big Show and pretty much any wrestling movie about wrestling, except for probably The Wrestler, which was a great movie, honestly go check it out. You'd think this being a WWE property, they would really pay attention to detail when it came to wrestling, or the wrestlers wrestling, or Kid Chaos fighting against wrestlers. But that was the most infuriating part of the movie for me. Something really cool that was happening throughout the movie is we had all these cameos from actual professional wrestlers, WWE Superstars. We had Keith Lee, we had The Miz, we had Corey Graves, and as an announcer, we had Sheamus come in as a special guest referee. We had Kofi Kingston show up for a cameo at the end. Those were all incredibly fun, but I felt like when the wrestlers were doing their job as wrestlers, this was Keith Lee and Otis, when they were actually wrestling in the movie, I felt like there was very little, sorry, I'm genuinely annoyed. And I think lots of wrestling fans are going to get annoyed with this movie as well. Because you have wrestlers like Keith Lee and Otis, who are phenomenal performers. And in this movie, they're given nothing. They're treated like almost jokes, okay? Keith Lee, he's called the smooth operator in this movie. I'm sorry, Keith Lee is amazing. He is a fantastic wrestler, and he's got just this awesome charisma about him. And he is a massive dude. A massive dude should not be able to move like that. And in this movie, they go, he can sing good. Or with Otis. Honestly, Otis is just one of my favorite characters in wrestling at the moment. I flip and adore him. He's hilarious, but he's this big guy that's got agility and he's got power behind him. In this movie, they make him a bad guy that's very sweaty, rubs his armpits on people, and burps and farts, and he uses those as attacks. I'm sorry, WWE, you have to, if you're going to make a movie with wrestlers, please respect your wrestlers and respect professional wrestling. After these fights, I kept going, WWE, do you understand how your own product works? Because throughout this movie, they treat wrestlers and their gimmicks as jokes in this movie. And I was just sitting there going, wrestling in and of itself is so over the top. I mean, if you look at some of the most famous characters of all time, Undertaker, he's a flipping spiritual dead man, okay? Finn Balor, he is the Demon King, okay? There's lots of spiritual stuff going on. And then you get guys like 3MB who are like the jokes, okay? You get all sorts of gimmicks. Serious ones that are for jokes, ones that are intentionally designed to make crowds laugh. Like R-Truth does it fantastically, but you still always take him seriously as a professional wrestler. While I was watching this movie, I was just going, I can't take these wrestlers seriously. I can't. And it sucks, because I never want to say that about Keith Lee or Otis. And that's exactly how I was feeling. Sorry, I know I've gone off on a serious tangent, but I really believe that this movie is going to be better for people that aren't wrestling fans. People that are wrestling fans are going to see this and go, that's not what wrestling is. Because in this movie, they depict wrestling as the joke that everyone thinks it is. They see it as big guys with no brains just wrestling each other in over-the-top dramatic ways. And to a degree, that is what wrestling is. But that is a very shallow understanding of what wrestling is. We didn't even see any real proper wrestling moves in this match. And I mean in this movie. We saw Keith Lee hitting some of his signatures and everything, but so much of the choreography in this movie is so over-the-top CGI nonsense. And that left me, as a wrestling fan, so disappointed, because we've just had Undertaker versus AJ Styles in a hectic cinematic match. We've had the final deletion with the Hardys. We know that wrestling can lend itself well to the cinematic. And this movie just doesn't take advantage of that at all. Which left me very, very, very disappointed. But yeah, guys, that's just my review. I hope you enjoyed it. If you enjoyed this video, give it a like. If you haven't yet, please, please, please subscribe to this YouTube channel. It would really help me out. You guys are the best. And I hope to see you again in another review. Hey guys, I'm just going to take the final 20 seconds out of this video to shout out Raven's Breath Cosplay, okay? If you are a wrestling fan, or if you're a cosplayer fan, or anything like that, jump across to her Instagram, because you will have a great time while you're there. Seriously guys, check out her Instagram. She's a great cosplayer. I really enjoy her stuff. But guys, I hope to see you in another video.